greater respect. He hopes they can have another treasured day. Only beaten Manchester City once in their history, but that was the very last meeting. Surrounded by names steeped in the Bournemouth cause on his bench. Well, the last chance for the serial trophy winners of Manchester City to claim a prize in what has been, by their standards, a disappointing campaign. For 80-odd clubs, it would do them just fine. But such are the standards they have set in recent years. Bournemouth seeking history and a first ever FA Cup semi-final, and only a second ever Cup appearance at Wembley. Andy Hinchcliffe, Antonio Iralo says City are favourites. Do you agree?
I absolutely do, yeah. Bournemouth have had a terrific season. City have had their struggles by their high standards, but they are favourites going into the game. At Bournemouth, they have that knowledge they can beat them. After Premier League success here in November, they're missing key defenders that could hamper them, but their attacking style should remain. There should be plenty of goals when you look at the attacking potential in both teams.
Stuart Atwell presides. Remember, we have semi-automated offsides, we have VAR. He has all the tools to help him. Feel of the ball too for Kusanov, and Edison fit again after those abdominal issues which ruled him out of the Brazil squad. Julio Soler, only his second appearance for the club in the absence of the suspended Milos Kerkez. Important defensive figure, but an important attacking figure too, and made both of the goals in Bournemouth's 2-1 league victory. This is Lewis Cook, out of position at right back, but this is his 10th start in the position this season, so he's getting used to it.
Again, straight from the off, both sides looking to high press, to put both defences when they're in possession under pressure.
Bournemouth not frightened to take the direct route to try and reduce the ability to press them effectively. Here is Kusanov, who was not a Manchester City player when they lost here in the autumn. Pressure telling on Edison, but affecting Evan Nielsen, who was a key figure in that victory.
An example there, the closing down I was talking about, just gets actually kicked by the goalkeeper. It's completely accidental. The keeper's clearing his lines, just a follow-through catches him. But that example there, Evan Nielsen, Kluivert as well, Brooks, Semenyo for Bournemouth. Great attacking players when they have the ball. When they don't have it, they will press that City back four.
Well, not what you want on a Sunday afternoon.
Or any afternoon.
Senesi has been training for much of the month after his quadriceps surgery. And Kluivert battling well.
I see Bournemouth there mixing up their attacking game. At times they play into feet, at times they look to turn opponents around that forward ball from the halfway line, in behind the City defence, turning them round, getting them running back towards their own goal.
Kluivert taking the low road. And his fellow individual from the Low Countries getting it away, Kevin De Bruyne. Semenyo unhappy with what he saw as a shove from Mateus Nunes, but it's a free kick to Manchester City, the flag going up.
There's a high-energy start from Bournemouth. We would expect that in a game of this magnitude, but also expect it after their recent form at home. It's not been great. It's 3 of the last 4 games. It's been such a fortress for them during most of the season, but just recently there has been a dip, so they're looking to play with real intensity and urgency.
3 successive Premier League defeats. They vanquished Wolves on penalties in the previous round. So they've done for the Black Country this season in the FA Cup, beating West Brom. And also seeing off Everton in what has proved to be the last FA Cup tie at that great venerable venue, Goodison Park. City facing top-level opposition for the first time in the competition here. Semenyo winning his battle despite the vehement appeals of Bernardo Silva. And the disbelief and fury leading to a challenge by Ilkay Gundogan that at least is going to force Stuart Atwell into issuing some calming words.
Yeah, I think Gundogan's defence will be, well, I played the ball, but that isn't a defence. It can still be a dangerous challenge. It can still be a foul. It's the way that you go into the challenge to win the ball. If you go through the player, catch the player with a slightly raised boot, the free kick will be given.
Well, he's made an indelible impact in the FA Cup, made sufficient impact there to concede a free kick over which Tyler Adams stands. Cook seemed to touch off balance as he hit that. Semenyo. Soler. Suggestion that the right foot might be for standing on. Kluivert.
I made a 16-year career out standing on my right foot, so it can work for you.
Justin Kluivert. Well, in the mood to arrest something of a slide, but everything must be placed in the context of the history when you're Bournemouth. 15 years ago, the March menu was Morecambe, Notts County, Grimsby and Accrington. And last season, 43 points separated these two, now just 4. A bit loose from Kusanov, and Evan Nilsson will chase. Difficult for Edison. Tyler Adams hoping to get a hold of it. And Ilkay Gundogan not treading especially carefully, and it's another free kick for Bournemouth.
Yeah, again, Bournemouth, they turn City around. Just wonder why Ruben Dias doesn't head this back to his goalkeeper. It's a bouncing ball, you know, a diving header back to your goalkeeper. He can collect it. Playing it back with your foot, that means the keeper can't pick it up. So it's a panic clearance. They give the ball away cheaply, give the free kick away. Has been a dominant start from Bournemouth here. Iriolo will be very happy with the amount of possession, the areas that they're getting the ball into that City defensive third. It's all about attacking quality when you're dominating a game like this, whether it be open play from free kicks, produce quality. That's what hurts the very best sides.
He's had a bit of a relatively rough patch in front of goal lately, Justin Kluivert. It is going to be a Kluivert strike, and I think that's all we'll say about that.
Yeah, it's truly dreadful, really. It's the perfect distance from goal for a free kick taker. You should be able to get it up and over the wall with pace, keep it on target. That is miles off target. And you say they really is struggling for goals, just one in his last 8 games. Maybe that free kick was an example of the rustiness that it has in front of goal at the moment.
Gundogan. Into Kevin De Bruyne. Gundogan. First City build-up of genuine note. Mateus Nunes's cross and Haaland's chance. And Haaland is wide of the mark.
It's the first time City have put a number of quality passes together. It's a wicked cross from Nunez, and now it's a worry for that Bournemouth defence. You know, any striker, certainly Erling Haaland, you have to pick him up. He cannot be in space in between your defenders, which he is here. Has a good look at the ball, knows where the target is. I think his reaction tells you everything. Should be doing a lot better, but there, an example. 10 minutes into the game, Bournemouth have dominated. City, first attack, gone close to scoring.
Kovacic and Gundogan colliding there. The often understated figure is in quite aggressive mood today. Tyler Adams now on the floor.
Yeah, just look at how City are setting up here with Kovacic sitting deep in central midfield. It's Bernardo Silva and Gundogan playing in those central areas. De Bruyne is out on the left-hand side, Foden on the right. Possibly expected De Bruyne to play more centrally and Foden out on the left, but that's not how City have started here.
It was a loose touch by Soler, who is bound to be more than a touch nervy, you would have thought. Haaland. Bernardo Silva. Oh, the referee's going to point for a penalty. Well, Tyler Adams bewildered, Stuart Atwell adamant.
Well, Tyler Adams is very close to the City player. And the big question is, are his arms away from the body in an unnatural position? Does he move his arms towards the ball? And his arms shouldn't be up there. There's no need for his arm to be above his shoulder. So if you do that, you run the risk. So absolutely right, Stuart Atwell, great position to spot the handball. It was handball. What an opportunity for City to take the lead. Well, Bournemouth players, Tyler Adams, can complain all you like, but they are told before the start of the season exactly what the handball law is, about where your arms should be, where they can't be. And that's a great example of, you simply can't raise your arms above your shoulders. There's no reason for you to do that. It's making your body bigger. It's blocking the path of the ball.
And Erling Haaland with a sense of determination, seizes the ball.
Yeah, he missed that early headed chance. Has he cleared his mind? Is he ready for this penalty?
Against Kepa. And Kepa is the hero. And City squander a major opportunity. An opportunity handed to them, but they do not accept the gift.
Well, what's Kasanov doing there? Again, arms in the back of Evan Nielsen. He's prowling along his goal line here. It just reads, I think, the body shape of Erling Haaland more than anything else. Where Haaland's looking to whip this ball to. The keeper's already on his way. So he's already reading where that ball is going to end up. He's not waiting for it to be hit, then diving. He's on the move to make the save.
Well, Noel hasn't enjoyed his trips to the South Coast so far this season. Now a moment of uncertainty, could be punished at the other end as Kluivert goes for it. Height on that ball, which will make it a good deal easier for Gvardiol to deal with.
I'd say it was a tremendous penalty save from Kepa, but as soon as he had the ball in his hands, he smashed the ball back up the pitch. He turned the game around so quickly, so making the save, didn't want to get all the pats on the back. He wanted to get his team moving forward. He did that, and they got a free kick out of the pitch because of that.
Evan Nielsen. David Brooks, product of the Manchester City Academy. A smile on the face of Andoni Iraola, which has been a little more frequent this season than a beaming expression on the face of the rarely fully satisfied Pep Guardiola, but he provided some reflective words in his press conference in the build-up to this game about his own personal performances. Haaland looking to steal onto this. Well, not his day so far. That's 3 significant opportunities.
I'm sure it's actually Tyler Adams that plays him in. Haaland heads the ball back in field. It's away from De Bruyne. Tyler Adams steps in, plays the ball back to Haaland. You see what he's trying to do? Just lift the ball over the goalkeeper, dink it over it, but he's moving too quickly. I think that's the problem. So when he makes contact, the ball is high and over and not into the back of the net. What a chance.
Erling Haaland reminding everybody of his humanity.
That is amazing. If you look at those 3 chances, the headed chance, the penalty, then that opportunity, and he's missed them all. That is quite extraordinary.
Kluivert beavering away. Christie harried out of it by De Bruyne. Felled. Semenyo felt he was caught. But City building with Gvardiol. De Bruyne. Ruben Diaz now to Kovacic.
Well, Erling Haaland has incredible mental strength. Of course, he's about to be hurt by the missed opportunities in this game so far, but he won't hide away. He'll be desperate to put things right and to get that opening goal. Still be driving himself into attacking positions to finally stick the ball in the back of the net.
Frightening record in the FA Cup. 8 goals in 8 FA Cup matches, but those 8 goals actually came in 2 games. Hat-trick against Burnley and 5 against Luton. Scored in both matches for Norway. Well, Semenyo streaking away. And getting away here from Foden as well. Full of determination to stay on his feet, but a little bit off balance when it came to the shot.
Yeah, he does the right thing, Semenyo, because he hasn't really got an obvious pass on. So he just drives. I think he realises he's up against an attacker in Phil Foden, not a natural defender. So drive at him, get into the penalty area. It's just a bit of a wild lash at the ball. There's no control, no composure, but the run was excellent.
But Matheus Nunes perhaps suggesting that the run began after a foul challenge. even in that regard, but the quality of the chances for Manchester City on a distinctly different plane to those Bournemouth have managed to fashion. That'll escape Semenyo's clutches.
It does make sense from Bournemouth if they can get that ball out to Semenyo, get isolated up against Nunez. That at times looks a bit of a mismatch. Semenyo's had a brilliant season. Nunez not a natural fullback, he's played in that position a lot. I don't think he'll be happy if he gets isolated one-on-one against Semenyo.
He's had a run of 7 successive starts at right back earlier in the season, but he's got his hands full.
Yeah, playing that position right back for City can be a joy. When you dominate the ball, you can play virtually as a wide attacker.
He's gifted the ball here to Lewis Cook, his fellow fish out of water, if you like, at right back. This is Brooks, and dangerous, and Kluivert, and in! Evanilson made sure, but he may well pass the credit Kluivert's way, and Bournemouth lead Manchester City again.
Well, Kepa does his job at one end, the strikers combine at the other for Bournemouth to take the lead, but it's all too easy. Defensively, City, they're just not switched on it. They don't close down David Brooks. The pass from Nunez is a shocker. How many times we say this? Don't play the ball, across the pitch, across your defence. He's asking for trouble, but Brooks, how easy is it for him to get the cross in? No one's closing him down. I tell you, Kluivert at the far post does magnificently well to keep the ball alive. He's never really going to score himself, but Evanilson, his partner, has got close to him. That is all important. They're playing as a pair. That's why the ball ends up in the back of the net. But defensively, City all over the place. Just not strong enough, not closing down, not staying with runners, not anticipating the danger. And they paid a heavy price.
Well, Kasanov duelling there with Evanilson. At any rate, Bournemouth are in front, and well, that is in historic terms extraordinary in itself. Manchester City have won 19 of the previous 22 matches between these two. Bournemouth only one, and City paying the price not only of their own surprising profligacy in front of goal, but a real aberration from the stand-in right-back initially.
Yeah, just going back to the goal, I want to look at the attacking positions from Bournemouth as well. Brooks has the ball, he's going to cross. Kluivert at times can play off Evanilson, but when the cross is coming in, they're playing as a front two, as a pair. They're combining. I think that's absolutely key. Kluivert keeps it alive, Evanilson's there to bundle the ball over the line. If Kluivert has dropped deep, looking for the ball into his feet, that doesn't happen. So it's that versatility from Kluivert, the ability to play as a 10 at times, ball into your feet, turn and create, or when crosses are coming in, be that second striker.
Haaland. Gundogan! And the goalkeeper shows his worth again.
City been stung into action with conceding that goal. It was a decent strike, but the form clear that Kepa is in, that was a save really expected him to make.
Up goes Semenyo again. It's really good play by Kovacic under pressure. A little loose, and that allows Kluivert to steal in. And he's been so bright in the first quarter of the match here.
Once again, though, City just overdoing it. Gundogan trying to be a little bit too clever in the middle of the park. There was a couple of simple passes on, tried to reverse it to Kovacic, gave the ball away. But you're right, Bournemouth, snapping into those challenges. They're there to exploit the mistakes that City are making.
Senesi, intriguingly, Anthony Arroyo saying he definitely doesn't have 90 minutes in him. Kluivert. Semenyo, really flashed across.
And you see that build up there again. Look at Kluivert's position. He's come away from Evan-Nilsson. He's become the number 10. Ball into his feet. He then turns and drives forward. Supplies Semenyo. It's a wicked cross, but there's no one really gambling on the edge of the 6-yard box. But Kluivert, his attacking positioning is causing City so many problems defensively.
Quite close to the television gantry. They do have supporters who like to set the rhythm here at the Vitality Stadium. Which is an aspect of games here that divides opinion. Towards Haaland. Cook, real direct approach here. Edison got there, looked for a moment as though it was going to scoot over his head. Bernardo Silva, Foden picking himself up. Foden again. Gundogan. Brooks hurrying and harrying. Kusanov. Bernardo Silva. Guardiola's delivery.
You see the Bournemouth are trying to get after the City players, trying to get after the ball, but at times you can't do that because City move it so slickly that you have to just sit back in a solid defensive shape. Make City really work for their openings.
Gundogan, Kusanov. The chase is on for Tyler Adams, who's been an important figure in this match. Oh, and the bounce a touch unkind for Evan-Nilsson, but his determination is such that he keeps the situation moving here.
Yeah, if that ball was on the floor out in front of Evan-Nilsson, he would have been in. Tyler Adams busting a gut to get to the ball. The pass was the right one. The centre-half taking a shot halfway inside the Bournemouth half. That's why there's so much space for Adams to get back into. Does the right thing, but it's the bounce of the ball that causes the problem. You've got to admire Bournemouth. When they get the ball back, they don't play 20 passes in their own half. They look to get forward. At times they can be quite direct, but they're such an aggressive attacking team.
An aggressive attacking team that have the lead against Manchester City, but in the previous 2 rounds, Pep's team have come from behind to win. Gvardiol. De Bruyne. Squeeze being applied to Semenyo, but he's actually found a ball for one of his colleagues. Fouled from behind by Ruben Diaz there, Evan-Nilsson.
Well, Semenyo's been so dangerous going forward, but diligent defensive work from there. He tracked Nunez all the way back in, got to the ball first. He didn't just clear his lines, he played a really intelligent forward ball to a teammate who picked up the free kick.
Well, Iraola has not brought a raft of coaches over from Spain with him, flanked there by Sean Cooper and Tommy Elphick. Stalwart figures here at Bournemouth. Simon Francis leading the technical department as well, so he'll be acutely aware of what is at stake here, potentially their greatest ever day in the FA Cup, with more perhaps to come.
Yeah, I think for Iraola, when you join a club like Bournemouth, yes, you want to move them forward, develop their style of play. Also, you want that connection to the past as well, where they've come from. Eventually, the makeup of the coaching staff, that's a definite nod to what's happened to this club over many years.
Burner after it. Gundogan looking to help it on. Zabani wins his duel. It's a touch by Adams. Plentiful possession. They've had chances that on any other day they certainly would have taken one of. Nunes fed well. And fooling Semenyo, but not catching Kepa out.
Yeah, it's a poor cross in the end. I mentioned earlier about Semenyo getting back, helping out his defence, tracking Nunes. He doesn't here, he's caught ball watching. That's why Nunes, the right back, gets in, then sells himself. That's too easy. That's a rushed ball in. Just have a look along the 6-yard line there. Just whip the ball to a teammate. Just puts his head down, fires it in. And it's catching practice for Kepa.
He didn't need to save one in the previous round when they went through on penalties. But vitally so here, has done so. That's De Bruyne moving it on to Gvardiol. Lewis Cook.
And that's the combination down the left that City are really looking for. Gvardiol providing the width, and De Bruyne able just to drift slightly infield and dictate the play from a more central position rather than out wide left.
Beautiful blue sky. Plenty of air on that, but Haaland coming round the back, seeking to exploit it.
I'm sure Haaland will be saying, well, did I keep that alive? Did it come off a Bournemouth player last? Zabani, I think that's what City are appealing for.
That's exactly what he's just said.
We just had those possession stats. No real surprise that City are dominating the ball. The opportunities they've had, they could have, maybe should have scored 3. When you play against City, yes, they're going to have a lot of the ball. If they don't take their chances, they're not clinical. Can you be? And that's exactly what we've seen in the opening half an hour. Bournemouth have taken that chance that came along, and yes, they've ridden their luck. Kepa's made a brilliant penalty save. But that's how you beat the very best sides.
Pull by Kluivert. Kovacic keen to go on. Gvardiol.
Kluivert there just getting it telling off from the referee, but great refereeing from Stuart Howell, letting the game flow. Yes, it was a foul, pretty cynical one, but City still in possession, advancing forward, let the game flow.
And it shouldn't be at the forefront of his mind, I know, but he is a yellow card away from missing the semi-final, which as it stands Bournemouth will play in. Semenyo. Such a positive opening to the game from him.
City showing their attacking flexibility here with De Bruyne drifting out to the right-hand side now.
Nunes with a flick. Diaz and Gundogan not on the same wavelength. Cool play by Gvardiol. Here's Foden. De Bruyne. Gvardiol once more. Touched by Foden, but that's Adams. And now Christie. Dancing away from a few, but ultimately for nothing. And City hoping to set in motion a promising raid, not to be.
Yeah, Christie had stepped forward, there was space there for City to exploit. Bernardo Silva driving forward, got to release the pass early. He's got 2 or 3 options. Yes, you've got the space, but move the ball quickly. Well, Bournemouth are short in numbers. It's fair to say Iriola's got his defensive balance working perfectly at times. They're pressing, squeezing City, forcing mistakes, pouncing on the ball at times. They're sitting a little bit deeper and frustrating the away side. So again, it's just flip-flopping between those 2 different defensive setups. Not easy to do normally. You just defend and attack in one way. You have to do it in different ways against a team as good as City.
Well, their ability to flip-flop has been labelled in some quarters chaotic. I'm not sure that's quite the description I would use.
Yeah, I think Pep Guardiola was talking about it not being chaotic, but I think by him saying that, he's probably saying it is a little bit in terms of how he wants to play. It is a bit chaotic, but clearly there's a plan there, and it's working very, very well. Individuals who know exactly what they should be doing for the team.
And Tyler Adams looking to measure the old slide rule pass. And Kusanov will go into the notebook for the challenge he made at the end of it.
Kluivert's attacking movement, I mentioned it earlier, he's causing City so many problems. At times he's dropping deep, at times he's looking to spin behind the City defence. As Bournemouth mix up their attacking play, and those City defenders are getting caught out. They're not sure whether to get tight with players or step off them, because players like Kluivert are chopping and changing the positions that they're taking up.
So Brooks with the kick. Actually flicked on by Gundogan, it was. And it drifted agonisingly across the face from a Bournemouth point of view.
It's just the right ball. Okay, you might pick out one of your teammates, but what you're doing by playing the ball in behind the defence is you're getting those blue shirts running back towards their own goal. As you say, it comes off Gundogan. Could have gone in the back of the City net. It's because of the angle, the quality of the ball in from Brooks. It's turned City around.
Just too big a stretch for the returning Senesi, who was on the brink of quite the story there. Ruben Diaz gets his head to it, and Ederson brings a sense of order, but not the quick release that perhaps he was seeking.
Yeah, you do feel that City have, control of the game, control of the ball, but there's always that threat from Bournemouth. That I talked about it, aggressive attacking when they get it. Doesn't matter how little of the ball they have, when they get it, they go forward, they try to score.
Mateus Nunes. There's Bernardo Silva digging out a cross under pressure. Kepa relieving it.
It's the kind of cross any goalkeeper wants. You want some flight on it, you want to see it all the way, you don't want to be under any pressure, you just have to jump and catch. It's all about secure handling. The ball is whipped in, much more difficult for a goalkeeper to deal with.
He's gone a long way to re-establishing a reputation that made him the world's most expensive goalkeeper under a head coach that he knows very well. In their days at Athletic Bilbao together, they didn't play in a competitive match together there. Certainly will have worked at close quarter on the training ground. Here's Foden. De Bruyne. Combining here with Foden in that often dizzying style. But Bournemouth on this occasion not bewitched or bewildered.
It's just one pass too many. Really congested area. At times we've seen City pick their way through a mass defence like that, but Bournemouth, how quickly they got back into shape, got bodies back there, stayed with runners. And managed to block the forward ball, that final forward ball.
Challenge a little earlier on Kusanov, judged to be the foul. That one from Semenyo.
It's just completely mistimed. It might just be a word for the referee. He might be fortunate to escape a yellow card. When he goes sliding in like that, the player's moving at pace, you're lucky if you escape a booking.
Well ahead in terms of the crime count. Here's Kovacic for City. Foden. Kusanov, a player who has clocked up more games than certainly would have been envisioned when he arrived at the club. At this stage, going around the corner. Well, there's a theme there, isn't there?
They look like an ageing boy band, don't they? I think everyone got the memo about beige and cream, didn't they?
Julio Soler. Should we call that a friendly greeting? Ruben Diaz. Here's De Bruyne. It's broken for Foden. And he tried to improvise and squeeze it back into the path of Erling Haaland, not to be.
He's just trying to maybe scoop that ball forward. I just wonder, did he need to do that? Or possibly. I think if he tries to get the ball out of his feet and shoot himself, he will be closed down.
Well, he spent a fair while in the Manchester City Academy from the ages of age 7 to 17. He's a United fan, though, they told me. And it was at United where he made his breakthrough, Sheffield United. Offside there. Mateus Nunes running into trouble but earning a free kick. Intentions of Julio Soler just crossing the line.
Yeah, the way that Bournemouth are defending at times, they're trying to be aggressive, disrupt City's passing rhythm. At times it will work, at times you'll give away free kicks.
Savani.
It's great positioning there, defensive awareness from Zabani. That forward ball was going to be played. He got Erling Haaland bearing down on it, but he just read the danger. Got back into a really good defensive position.
Cook. Half drawing to a close. Guardiola and Brooks tussling.
There's been plenty of occasions in this first half where Bournemouth have played those longer forward balls looking to turn City around, and for defences, modern defences, they're not really used to that type of attacking approach. Normally it's all ball to feet.
Foden. And here is Haaland. Forced initially away from goal. Bernardo Silva. Foden again. De Werner.
It's just not been City's first half, has it? Quality players like Erling Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne. You'd normally expect much more from them with opportunities like the ones they've had.
Bournemouth on the cusp of breaking new ground and claiming a place in a first ever FA Cup semi-final. So Manchester City making a change at the interval, and their joint top scorer in the competition so far, Nico O'Reilly, replacing Kusanov. So that'll mean a little switch around at the back for Pep Guardiola. O'Reilly slotting in at left back. On course for what would be remembered as a really treasured afternoon. Bournemouth leading Manchester City by a 0-0 and 45 minutes away from an FA Cup semi-final at Wembley against Nottingham Forest, who they beat handsomely recently in the league. Here's Nico O'Reilly on at half-time with his first involvement. Facing Kusanov, operating from left back, which means a central brief in this second half for Joško Gvardiol.
Yeah, it makes sense that Bournemouth don't change their personnel, they won't change their approach, I'm sure, but for City, this is why O'Reilly has been brought on, to provide that genuine width, left footer, a natural left back who loves to step forward. I think with Gvardiol and Diaz, they're probably more of a resolute centre-half partnership, because I think Kusanov certainly defensively had his problems in that first half, so a change that makes sense.
Here's the Bournemouth team. And it's worth recalling, for joining us late, that Dean Huijsen and Milos Kerkez, such key figures at the back, and in Kerkez's case particularly, also going forward, both suspended today. Marcus Tavernier absent from the squad for unspecified reasons. And O'Reilly on at left back at half-time. The City squad without Savinho today, who became a dad earlier in the week for the very first time. Our best wishes to him and his family.
That's a really good point to make about Bournemouth. This is, far from their strongest starting 11, those key defenders, and Tavernier missing. There are 3 players that I'm sure City would like not to play in the game. That's how it's happened, but still, Bournemouth again, the way that they play, whoever's in the team, they know exactly what the approach has to be.
Foden. Haaland one way. Foden goes his own way.
And it all starts with a brilliant little flick round the corner from Bernardo Silva. Just takes out 3 or 4 Bournemouth midfielders. Suddenly Foden's away. He's got the choice of playing Haaland in. I think it is the right choice to take it yourself, but you've got to go low and to the keeper's left. The strike is where Kepa wants it.
Genuine sense of direction and intent. Yeah. Can't afford to be a Sunday afternoon stroll in this second period. It's ahead of Julio Soler, Gundogan to De Bruyne. And feeding O'Reilly, whose impact has been notable already. Feeds Haaland, and this time he takes the chance. And there, a case of a substitution paying instant dividends. Manchester City level.
Well, right from the start of this second half, there was an urgency, a desire from City to get at Bournemouth. And it's quite brilliant from De Bruyne. The way that he takes this ball down, gets it out in front of him, doesn't even look. He knows that Nico O'Reilly, the left-back, is going to be on his way. That's what he'd been sent on to do. But O'Reilly, it's a magnificent pass. Really unselfish, has a little look. But the angle of it, the weight of it, it's a tap-in ultimately for Erling Haaland, but it's all about the athleticism, dynamism of O'Reilly to get forward, then the composure to deliver an inch-perfect cross, and no, Haaland can't miss from there, really.
Erling Haaland reaching 30 goals for the season. And they say it's been a tough campaign.
There's no way with Guardiola at left-back that happens. You know, O'Reilly with that athleticism, desire to sprint forward, use his pace, quality cross of the ball. That's why Guardiola made the change. Get a natural left-back in the team, get him over the halfway line, get him providing for your centre-forward.
Touch of relief, maybe?
Well, he said that, though, he can miss chances. He does miss a lot of chances as well, Erling Haaland, but he never kind of shirks that next opportunity. He's never kind of behind plays, never standing and waiting for the ball. You see there, O'Reilly picks it up. He's getting himself into a goal-scoring position. He's anticipating a bit of quality, and that comes from mental strength.
Well, cliches are generally well used because they tend to be true, and not being afraid to miss is a key quality. Not just on the football pitch, but in life, I find. Oh, it's got enough legs on it from Zabani, who has made magnificent strides himself this season. With a lot of talk about Dean Howson, quite rightly, but another relatively youthful operator at centre-back for Bournemouth. And are City going to maintain the theme of coming from behind and winning in the FA Cup this season? They didn't have to against Salford, but they've had to in the 2 previous rounds. And are having to here.
Yeah, for Nico O'Reilly, when he was sent on at half-time, I bet he was hoping that the game was going to be like this, where he could just power forward. He's not going to be pinned back on the edge of his own box, having to do a lot of one-on-one defending with David Brooks. The game has opened up. First with Bernardo Silva, then with Kevin De Bruyne. They just quickly turn defence into attack, and O'Reilly can just fly forward.
Foden. Bernardo Silva. And that's Christie back there.
Yeah, Bournemouth just haven't got started here, or City haven't allowed them to get a foothold in the second half. They've been relentless. City at their best are a team that just keep going at you, grind you down. They started this second half so positively.
Is that a foul on Soler? Yes, it is. Oh, how quickly the complexion can change. It's just a team that have received a few dents to their confidence in recent weeks.
I suppose we look at how Bournemouth conceded the goal, how high up the pitch they were, looking to engage City, press them. But once that ball is lost and a bit of magic from De Bruyne, suddenly it takes so many Bournemouth players out of the game. So Iraola and Bournemouth trying to do the right thing to disrupt City high up the pitch, but City again at times have individuals who are just too good and getting behind you. That's exactly what happened with the goal.
Time for them to reassert themselves. Tyler Adams, who's been involved in a lot of important moments so far today. Semenyo, one of their brighter stars. Getting a bit of a respite from the springtime sun. And slightly uncharacteristic nature of that hoik forward from Bernardo Silva noted by the watching audience.
And once again, Kevin De Bruyne's first touch, though, outstanding.
Well, he's produced one moment of incisive brilliance.
He's really controlling the tempo of the game.
Yeah.
He's playing pretty much in central midfield now, with O'Reilly coming on, occupying the left-hand side. He's dominating that central area now.
Ruben Diaz now the right of the two centre-backs. Coming together in the middle, which the City fans are not too pleased about. Here's O'Reilly again. Gvardiol. Gundogan.
And Bournemouth are getting pinned in. Look how high up the pitch the City centre-halves are in Gvardiol and Ruben Diaz. They're virtually playing as midfielders. The game's been played in one half.
De Bruyne. Well, just brimming with intent as soon as he seized upon that ball. And Evan Nilsson likewise in his attempts to make life difficult for Joško Gvardiol.
Yeah, Bournemouth had to get to grips with Kevin De Bruyne. Okay, City have a lot of star individuals, 4 or 5 of them that can hurt you, but at the moment, the way the game is going, Kevin De Bruyne on the ball, turning and running at them, he's causing Bournemouth lots of problems.
Haaland. Well, the smile's back on the face. Haaland in difficulty after the tussle of two Leeds lads there with Lewis Cook, although for the record we should note he was born in the city of York, Cook that is. Or anyone writes in on the back of a postcard, do people still do that? I'm not sure. But Bournemouth seeking a fresh angle. And a tall order on his second Bournemouth start for Julio Soler. He is going to be replaced, as is David Brooks. James Hill comes on. And Dango Ouattara who produced one of the coolest penalties in a shootout I've ever seen in the previous round.
I just wonder with Erling Haaland picking up an injury, maybe is it as Lewis Cook goes to ground, does he slightly catch Erling Haaland there just as he rolls maybe onto Haaland's ankle there? It's completely unintentional. He's not trying to take out the striker, just seems to fall on him.
A distinctly concerning moment. And all very unfortunate, but the attitude, the tactical shift and the quality that City have shown since the interval, all very admirable indeed. It's been a long afternoon for Erling Haaland, an afternoon of disappointment until just after half-time.
Yeah, you miss, but what does Haaland keep doing? Getting into goal-scoring positions, giving his teammates a pass, and that's exactly why he eventually gets his goal. I think that injury to Haaland about to be worrying for Guardiola and City, but it's a breaking play that Bournemouth need. Areola can make his changes and just have a word to his players.
It's often telling statistic, touches in the opposition box, both in terms of how a team is faring and how an individual player is affecting the game. And Erling Haaland has had an eventful afternoon. Everybody associated with Manchester City. Now, I'd like to think plenty of neutrals hope that his afternoon is not about to come to an end here.
I just think he's such a wonderful footballer and such a charismatic personality as well. Opposition fans will of course not want him to score, but he's so watchable as a player, the way that he plays the game as much as the goals that he scores.
He is, incidentally, the first Premier League player since Ruud van Nistelrooy to score 30 goals in all competitions in each of his first 3 seasons in England.
Is it a major surprise?
It's not a surprise, but it's worth noting.
Yeah, I think when you see that first game, you just see how he approaches the game. It's no surprise he scores goal after goal. It's gone down again here.
Well, not a head injury, so the game can go on, and now it is out of play. An opportunity for treatment will be afforded. Maybe Lewis Cook's unhappiness has stoked the fire in Kevin De Bruyne here. And De Bruyne unhappy that the game went on when his colleague was suffering. Omar Marmoush is about to make a rapid entrance.
I think it's more about footballing morals, isn't it? Of course, Bournemouth can play on, but with Haaland clearly down and Bournemouth in a non-threatening area, just put the ball out of play, allow City to make the change. That's the point that De Bruyne is making to Cook.
Well, I'm sure there will be those watching who think footballing morals are often a bit of an oxymoron. But Omar Marmoush will have half an hour at least here in a cup tie that can go the distance today, as we saw yesterday between Brighton and Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, well, Guardiola, he certainly has the attacking options on his bench, you know, with Grealish, Doku, McAtee, with Marmoush coming on, but really you'd want Erling Haaland to stay out there if you're serious about winning this game, winning the FA Cup. You need to keep your star man out there.
Well, Pep made his views clear about the situation, about Bournemouth going on, and he has received a yellow card. Word out of place to the fourth official, which is not often a newsworthy event, it must be said, but what he said to Andy Madley has got him into a bit of trouble. If everyone received a yellow card every time there was a word out of place to the fourth official, there'd be nobody left here, would there?
Well, we certainly wouldn't be working, would we?
No, we're the epitome of politeness. Kovacic, and there's another card for Christie.
Well, he's turned to the referee for an explanation of why he's been booked, but it's fairly obvious, isn't it? Kovacic is wrong side of him, he's grabbed him round the shoulders, pulled him back. You're going to get booked for that, Ryan.
Not a Christie mystery. We know who done it. Here's Gundogan. Semenyo, but he hasn't got a hold of it. O'Reilly has. Beautifully done for Marmoush! That's quite the entrance! And it's quite the turnaround here in the FA Cup for Manchester City. Their last route to silverware on the line, and they have come out in this second half, fired and fighting.
Oh, they've shown real character, real determination, aggression, application. And then they've had quality, but this is a goal that Iraola and Bournemouth will be devastated they've conceded. See, Semenyo's actually switched flanks, so he's in a good position there. I'm not sure why he goes to ground. You really need to go to ground. You need to slide in to make that challenge, stay on your feet, pick the ball up, clear your lines. Once you go to ground, you can't get up quick enough. O'Reilly does remarkably well to get to the ball and then play the pass. Could easily have been selfish, taking the shot on. Great little flick with the outside of his boot. I think it's just the speed with which Marmoush takes the shot on. He goes through Zabani, makes it difficult for Kepa. The ball really goes through the goalkeeper, probably doesn't see it until late. But Marmoush sometimes substitutes. It takes a while to get to the pace of the game, but Marmoush was so sharp, so ready.
Well, one substitution of choice, one out of necessity, and the two have combined to devastating effect for Bournemouth. And the theme continues for Manchester City in the FA Cup in 2025. But they're not there yet.
Yeah, I'm sure Semenyo, though, had his time again. He'd stay on his feet, he'd either clear it first time or take one touch. But stay on your feet and clear it. There's no need for him there to go to ground. He's not stretching to get to the ball, he's comfortably there. So he should have dealt with it.
That's ahead of Senesi, and we watch with interest as to how long he may continue. Semenyo, a man keen to atone perhaps, but Kovacic keeping his eye on the ball. This is Gundogan.
I talked about City doing well as a team, but Nico O'Reilly is an individual. What an influence he's had on this game, on City's FA Cup run. He's their joint top scorer. He's created 2 goals here after coming off the bench. Outstanding from him.
Well, made his debut in the Community Shield at the start of this season. A player who has been with the club since the age of 8. Matheus Nunes can catch up with this one. And Marmoush waits. Marmoush arrives. Can he finish? Senesi to scramble it away, but it's still alive. De Bruyne. Deflection, corner.
Well, City are rampant here. If they get a third, it could be tie over. They're clinging on Bournemouth. We see this too often. Long forward ball. Nunes has made the run. Really good cross. Senesi does ever so well here. He knows that Marmoush is going to win the header. He gets back and protects the target. He gets back onto the goal line. That's why it's not a third for City. I think Marmoush would be disappointed. You know, a closer touch. He could have wrapped that ball home. Could have made it 3. He could have been tie over.
Cannoned off the face of Zabani. So a second corner for Manchester City. Already with a second goal under their belt. But they sense that they'll need a bit of blue water between themselves and Bournemouth on the south coast. Diaz up with a header. Bournemouth scrambling it away. Matheus Nunes with some confident play. Here's Hill. Player of great versatility, operate anywhere in the back four. We've seen him in midfield this season in what has been his breakthrough campaign. Semenyo. And O'Reilly capable of affirmative action defensively as well.
I love to see that from a left-back. You know, in my day, it was all about getting forward at times, but the main job is defending, wanting to defend, and O'Reilly's been brilliant going forward, but there, one-on-one against Semenyo was so strong, timed the challenges, 2 challenges to perfection.
Well, let's call it now. He's the new Andy Hinchcliffe.
I wouldn't go that far, he's not quite that good just yet.
But decisive contribution. And another City change imminent. And Jack Grealish is about to get an opportunity as we head towards what could, and as it stands is likely to be the final quarter of this cup tie. Foden still bustling away. Gundogan. Hill just sort of jabbing at it, but he was able to win it back. Christie standing up well under the pressure. Look how fired up Kevin De Bruyne is now.
You look at the applause from the City bench for De Bruyne's efforts there. Yes, football is about scoring goals, but it's about making life as difficult as you can for opponents, and that's why the City bench there, up on their feet, applauding De Bruyne's efforts.
So Jack Grealish has an opportunity to showcase his rich talent, replacing Phil Foden. Sure, he'd be pleased that Villa are in the semi-final draw, but it won't be a semi-final meeting, to remind you, between the winners of this tie. Villa up against Palace, and whoever emerges triumphant here facing Nottingham Forest in the final weekend in April at Wembley. Prodded on by Gundogan. Malmouche a little loose. They've got a nick on that Adams forward ball. This is Grealish. And clipped from behind by Lewis Cook, and that will mean a yellow card.
It's always a problem for a defender. You can say it's accidental, but he's wrong side of his man. Grealish is driving away from him. Any contact, even if it is accidental, you're going to be penalised for. I think he's trying to get out of the way, but because he's wrong side of his man, that's the problem.
Well, they would have made acquaintance in the second tier of English football, those two, Lewis Cook and Jack Grealish, although not at necessarily close quarter that often, with Cook being very much a number 10 of industry at Leeds United. Gundogan. Guardiola up there. Here's Christie. Well, Bournemouth needing to find themselves again.
Yeah, they've just been completely overrun in this second half, so credit City for that. But Bournemouth will just be hoping they'll have a spell. 5 minutes, that's all they need. One chance to get back into the game.
They've gifted it to Gundogan, who strides on, searches for a free kick, doesn't get it. But their use of the ball when they have got it has not been especially impressive.
In the first half for Bournemouth, we were talking about Semenyo, Evan-Nielsen, Kluivert, pretty much anonymous in this second half because Bournemouth just haven't got the ball, they haven't got it out of the pitch. The City have dominated.
And here's Evan-Nielsen on the border of offside. Cook. hands off Christie. Well, we saw Alex Scott there. It's going to be a double change we're hearing for Bournemouth imminently. And the old hand Adam Smith, and I suspect that will be for Senesi. Well, it's Christie and Evan Nielsen who are going to be replaced. Adam Smith involved again, and that will release Lewis Cook to a position more to his liking in midfield, where hopefully he can use his considerable energy and talent to good effect from a Bournemouth point of view.
It does make sense as well, Adam Smith. He's been with injury problems, but he's a natural right back. He's up against Jack Grealish now, so maybe that's why we're always looking at that matchup and thinking Smith is better suited to dealing with Grealish than Cook.
Grealish. Well, it's intriguing now, isn't it? Because Bournemouth have got a back line with a couple of players who've only just returned from fairly serious injuries. Senesi out since November. Smith has been on the sidelines for a period too, since December. He suffered a calf injury whilst recovering from a hamstring injury. Just to double the pain. Kovacic got there first and fairly. Ruben Diaz to Kevin De Bruyne. Moving it on with such apparent ease to Bernardo Silva. Bournemouth yet to record a single shot or touch inside Manchester City's box in this second half. That has to change quickly from their point of view. Well, Andoni Iraola may not know this, but the last time they played in front of a Dean Court crowd, as it was then known at this stage of the FA Cup, they went ahead against the reigning champions from Manchester and succumbed to two second-half goals. 1957, Johnny Berry was the scorer of Manchester United's double that day. And Aston Villa went on to win the FA Cup.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying that in 1957, Manchester United beat Bournemouth in the quarter-finals here, and Aston Villa won the FA Cup. Manchester United led into battle by an FA Cup winner with Manchester City, Matt Busby the manager, and also, not a lot of people know this, but a former Bournemouth player. Meanwhile, in the present, challenge involving Justin Kluivert and Ruben Diaz, or rather Matheus Nunes.
That's why it's so frustrating at times to play against City. A City, they're in full flow, they just keep the ball so well. You're so desperate to get it back, you give foul after foul away and end up picking up bookings. It's just game management. City are so good at that with their possession game.
Here's De Bruyne, just to confirm, Kluivert, if Bournemouth turn this around, will not be able to play. in the semi-final. Over Senesi's head, was met by his colleague Zabani. Gundogan. Senesi there again, as he was when Marmoush was threatening a little earlier, and those kind of interventions preserving Bournemouth hope.
It was a clever header from Gundogan back across goal, but no City player took a gamble.
Here is Marmoush. Rhino, Marmoush, Mateus Nunes, Nisfa Ouattara. Nico O'Reilly. Adam Smith positive. And Bournemouth desperately needing anything of that kind of vein. His determination has sparked a few others into life. This is Scott, and now Cook. Kluivert. Well, if he's not going to be there with him, he wants to do his utmost to help them get there. Hill.
That's better from Bournemouth, finally getting up the pitch into that final third. Just need some quality now, real composure. They've not had many chances. They need to fashion one.
Hill to hurl it. Scott beaten to it. Kluivert. Zabani in trouble. And can they get this right? It's Marmoush. Zabani at least able to get goal side. Gundogan. Marmoush. And Bournemouth in the end come out of the situation still with hope intact.
Yeah, they have to take risks now going into the final 10 minutes. They've got to commit bodies forward, even defenders forward. So if they lose the ball, City do have that ability to counter-attack, as we saw there with Marmoush and Gundogan. It's just the sheer weight of defensive numbers. Bournemouth did well. Defenders sprinting back to nullify that opportunity.
Gundogan. Alex Scott to a rather derisory reaction to Gundogan's attempts at inspecting the pitch. Kovacic. Grealish. Tormenting Smith. And feeding Gundogan. And rattling, well, kissing, in all honesty, the post. And then forcing a corner.
Such unselfish work, Jack Grealish, twisting and turning, defenders turning their back on him. He can't do that, but he lays the ball off rather than shoot. But the fact I think it's a left-footed strike from Gundogan means it's always moving away from the target. So rather moving back towards the target from a right footer, the left footer takes it onto the post and not in.
James McAtee and Nico Gonzalez. latest to be introduced for Manchester City. So Gundogan walks away, having come very, very close indeed to doubling City's lead.
I do feel the longer the game went on, Kovacic and Gundogan became more and more influential. Kovacic gets through a lot of unselfish work at the heart of that City midfield.
The last time James McAtee was involved in a squad that reached the FA Cup semi-final, he couldn't play because it was against City. It was at Sheffield United on loan, and the opposition were his parent club. Ruben Diaz, McAtee. And Paul Heckingbottom leading Sheffield United to an FA Cup semi-final and promotion that year. His dreams of another semi-final dashed today with Preston. And De Bruyne, they're able to get there when Adams hoped he would be able to take it in his stride. This is Grealish. It's opened up potentially for him. De Bruyne.
Maybe just a case there, Jack Grealish just overdoing it, open the space up for himself, just wrap your instep around it, take the shot on. Doesn't have to score the perfect goal with pass after pass. If the space is there, opportunity's there, take it.
So Daniel Jebison on with a lengthy message, it would seem, for Lewis Cook, and now for Zabani. Instant involvement for Jebison. Smith, Grealish in the way. Smith, searching cross, potentially threatening cross. And Lewis Cook hoping to get there. So Jebison replacing Lewis Cook. Senesi replaced, just to clarify.
Yeah, it was Jebison that came on. He had a bit of an instant impact, good cross. I think if Semenyo had been given a shout by Adam Smith, the fullback was in a better position. Semenyo tried to take it down. A decent opportunity in the penalty area, was gone.
Mateus Nunes getting a booking on that occasion. Scott, Jebison. Cook now orchestrating from potentially the middle of the back four when they don't have the ball.
He really has shown his versatility, and it's so important. If he can drop into the back line, he can bring on Jebison, that extra attacker. You see why Iriola has done that. It's just whether they can get enough of the ball in that City final defensive third and have a bit of quality. The attackers are out there. Can you create chances for them?
Well, his opportunity in his preferred position was sadly brief for him. But it's better than the commentator substituting him.
Yeah, it's for the good of the team, isn't it? You play anywhere as a player if it ultimately gets you an equalising goal.
Smith. Well, a tale of dominance in the second period from Manchester City, and Bournemouth without an opportunity of note so far in the second period. Here's Marmoush, but there is Kepa. Ooh. And swiftly on the scene, De Bruyne. His attitude has epitomised this City effort in the second period.
And his work off the ball just as impressive as his work on it. Outstanding.
Here's McAtee. Grealish. McAtee. At arm's length by Zabani. Well, the word from the sidelines is certainly encouraging for Bournemouth as regards added time, because the suggestion is there's going to be a minimum of 7 added minutes. So plenty of time for City to put the issue beyond doubt. Here's McAtee. As we reach the 90th minute, and Grealish felled. McAtee upset. Guardiola likewise about the amount of added time. He's heard the news. And a coach on a yellow card has to choose his words carefully.
The City players reacting. They're not happy with the nature of the challenge more than anything else. And Tyler Adams just kicks out at Jack Grealish. They're desperate to get to the ball, Bournemouth. They're not going to get the ball by making challenges like that and give free kicks away. City maintain possession. Got used to that during his career, Jack Grealish, just getting clattered into. I think the City players are just happy with the way that Adams went in there. He could have seriously injured a player because all you're looking to do is foul him.
So welcome by the majority, but certainly not the Manchester City head coach.
7 minutes is enough time for Bournemouth to get an equaliser. It's just how much of the ball can they enjoy in that 7 minutes? How high up the pitch can they get it?
Well, the previous 45 hasn't been enough to create a good opportunity.
And if City do hold on to win the tie, get to the semi-final, I think you have to say Guardiola, that half-time change, taking off Kassanov, bringing on Nico O'Reilly. That was the game changer. O'Reilly was been absolutely outstanding in the second half, done everything his coach would have wanted from him.
Oh, and Zabani didn't get there. Adams hoping to get back. And the window of opportunity opened wide for Marmoush there. And a message to the man who, as it stands, will be the match winner from Pep Guardiola on the sidelines, who's as animated as you would expect at this point, at this crucial point in a cup tie. Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne. Ruben Diaz. Marmoush to De Bruyne. And Grealish. Sets up De Bruyne, it's pinball! McAtee denied by Kepa, and he's kept them alive there, the goalkeeper.
Once again, unselfish from Jack Grealish, creating an opportunity for De Bruyne, who's doing the right thing. He's trying to pass the ball home. It just won't go in, but Bournemouth just about still in a tie.
Well, the penalty save, vital. That one as significant. At this moment anyway, it may just be a footnote in a few minutes' time. Kluivert to tease it in there. Ball of any meaning or threat has been hard to come by.
He's trying to do the right thing there. Kevin De Bruyne let the ball come across his body, try and pass it home rather than go for pure power. It's a good positioning, it's a good block. It doesn't matter as a goalkeeper how you save it, just keep it out. Just get your chest on it if you have to and keep the tie alive, keep your team in the competition.
Grealish. O'Reilly. Mateus Nunes. Foul by Kluivert.
There's another frustrated challenge, desperately trying to get the ball because you want to get up the pitch, but you're going through the man to get to the ball.
Marmoush. Nico Gonzalez. Grealish. McAtee. De Bruyne.
I think at this stage of an FA Cup tie, when you're 2-1 up away from home, the corner flag starts to look very, very attractive.
They have struggled to get out, but now they do at least have an opportunity to do so.
Yeah, it's a free kick. Just launch this ball forward, get Kepa to take it, get everybody up on the edge of the City box, if not in the box, and hope that something breaks for you. Don't overplay, try and create something.
Well, I mentioned that Justin Kluivert would not be able to take part in the semi-final if they got there. Well, now James McAtee can't, and that's a double blow, having missed out when he was with Sheffield United.
City intelligent defensive line, their high defensive line. They weren't pinned on the edge of their box because of that line that they held.
Hands out from Ruben Diaz. Referee not buying it. De Bruyne's determination in evidence once again. Well, he's been magnificent in the second half, and there's just a sense that he's maybe raging against the dying of the light as far as his City career is concerned, but O'Reilly also a headline maker after his half-time arrival.
Yeah, considering his influence on the game, he has to probably be, player of the match, even though he only played half a game. But I think De Bruyne, Kovacic, Bernardo Silva, Ilkay Gundogan, we saw the quality, the experience they have. They controlled the second half. It was about the team, yes, all those outfield players did their job, but those four in particular have really shown their worth in this second half.
Upset. It was there for them, but the second half from Manchester City, they've just simply been overrun, and a reminder of the difference between one group of individuals and another. Whatever City's relative misfortunes this season and difficulties, they remain full of players of the very, very highest class. Well, Bournemouth came here hoping to make history, but Manchester City rewrite the record books. A 7th successive FA Cup semi-final place booked, thanks in part to some inspired substitutions. Omar Marmoush, the match winner after coming on for the stricken Erling Haaland, who had earlier equalised. But Nico O'Reilly's introduction at the start of the second half, the key. He made both goals with a little bit of help from the great artist De Bruyne in case of the first one. Bournemouth performed so well in the first half. Kepa did everything right, saving a penalty, and one that at the time looked as though it may still be crucial from James McAtee right at the end. Bournemouth won the first half, but they saw the real Manchester City in the second. And on they go to face Nottingham Forest at Wembley. The final score, Bournemouth 1, Manchester City 2.